I'm your host, Marquise, and welcome to Can I Get a Minute? My guest on today's show is saxophonist from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Michael Massaro. Hey, I want to thank you for coming on the show and taking time out. I know you got a little busy schedule there, but with that being said, Michael Massaro, can I get a minute?
Hi there, Marquise. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate being on, and I want to send out a very nice salute to Kansas City and congratulate them on their win.
The Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Yes.
Great. And I'm really glad to be on and talking with you and it's a pleasure getting to know you as well.
Oh, man. Hey, look, it's my pleasure. And I'm thanking you also. And I appreciate you taking out the time to let the world know about you and your music. So let my people know who are watching on the other side of the screen there, Michael Massaro, how this all got started. Give us a brief, short synopsis on how this all got started.
Well, I started playing late in life. Actually, I was 15 years old. I started in high school, and they noticed that I had talent, and I had some good teachers, and they actually really supported me, got me to go to conservatory. I did all the classical stuff, which was a great background for a musician. And then at 21, I was on the road working with R&B bands and right across Canada in the States. And then I recorded my first single in 1986. Which was called "When I'm in Your Arms." It was the last of the 45. I don't even know if people remember that we had.
Oh wow!
Yes, it was one of the last of the 45s, man. The A side was called "First Flight," and to my surprise, I hear it on the radio as I'm driving downtown Toronto, and that's how things started, and then things happened from there.
How did that make you feel? Hearing it on the radio, because I know back in the day, everything's online now, but back in the day, like, hey, you give it to a record company, let's hope that it hits the radio. How did you feel?
It was amazing because I was driving when I first heard it, right? So I heard it, and now online things are a little bit different, but I thought there must be something to what I'm doing here. So that really gave me the impetus to want to pursue a recording career.
Cool. Hey, man, before we keep going, I want to put on the screen right here. Tell people where they can find your music, and let's put it up here for them. Okay.
Well, yeah, at this point, the best place to find my music, if they want to listen and purchase it, it's on Bandcamp, and the address is all lowercasing, michaelmassaro.bandcamp.com. And it's a really great site, and it's a really good site for also up-and-coming artists that want to get online and that want to, sell their music.
It's I went up there and I told you, you got a new follower here, by the way. I went up there and I signed up, and I'm impressed with it. I'm impressed. And we spoke before, and I really didn't know about it, but I want to thank you for introducing me to Bandcamp. I started going around and everything and checking it out. And people let you know, this is not a promotional plug. This is the honest to God deal right here. He told me he was on Bandcamp. We went there, so now we're sharing it with you. If you get a chance, please go up there and check them out. A lot of people like to go up there while we're having this conversation, and yeah, go ahead and check them out. I noticed something about you, man. I listened to all your music, right? And I was in the kitchen. I was saying this earlier. I'm baking away and I'm listening to your music. Your music's very different. It's not like that traditional smooth jazz, and I'm sitting there going, oh, okay. I'm not trying to put you in a box. I'm trying to this is okay. And it's hard for me to put my finger on it. And then I'm going like, okay, it's got a little Latin influence. Okay, there's this Hispanic. Then it's like, but it starts going back the other way, and it just blows my mind. It's different. It's different, and it's like this roller coaster ride of melodies that are put together from different influences. But explain to me the method of your madness, because it's pretty unique. It's pretty unique.
Well, you know what, Murky? A lot of it has to do with my influences, my early influences. First of all, my earliest influences were Cannonball Adderley and Charlie Parker, who was born in Kansas City.
Yes, he was. Yep.
Of course, John Coltrane. And then later on, was really influenced by people like David Sanborn and Grover Washington Jr. And so my influences are very strong in the jazz element. But when it comes to writing music, the originality that happens is a combination of all that background. And I was taught very early on that you have to have your own sound, which is very important. So I developed, I think I have a succinct, unique sound. And also the writing style is more contemporary, but it has the smooth jazz element. So you get that right on, Marky, in terms of, you heard it all. So there's a lot of different influences, And of course, the R&B influences are there as well. So that sort of makes me a little bit of a unique musician and writer, So that's basically.
It really does. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, you've got some groove, you got some rhythm, and a lot of those songs. And as I kept on listening more and more, I was like, okay, I'm really getting into it. I've heard your other stuff, but when you sent me the Bandcamp, I was like, okay, now here's stuff I haven't heard before, and I'm loving it. And I'm like, wow, this is really, you really got something going on there. Your latest project, I Remember You.
Yes.
That is really something else. I mean, I went ahead and I wrote down my favorite songs from there, and I'm not trying to stroke your ego or get on your good side, but I mean, I'm like listening to Moroccan Nights, Treasure Chest, Real Rio, Cuba Libre, and Sassy Woman, and I was like, whoa, he has really got something going on here. What mindset are you in when you start putting together music?
Well, basically, this album came from. It's a collaboration. I have a songwriter partner. His name is Lou Bartolomucci. He's a guitarist, and so we work together on that. But this album is actually very eclectic because what I wanted to do is I wanted to put out all the different influences that I have. The Middle Eastern influence, the Latin influence. So it's a real sort of a smooth jazz world album. In that term,
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
And so there's a variety, and I think I touch on many, many levels. In fact, I'm getting airplay on this album. I'm getting like 8 tracks that are being played simultaneously worldwide.
Yes, and I can agree. I can agree to that because when I'm listening to it, I'm like, this is a release, and it goes on.
Yeah, and for example, I get a lot of airplay in England and in the Middle East, and in Australia and the United States. So I think the diversity in the actual tracks that I present is really working amazingly. I thought maybe I'll get 1 or 2 tunes being played, but no, I'm getting I got 8 tracks and they're all doing really well. I'm really surprised by it actually. But
you know what? You're hitting that. When I listen to it, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to say this not as like it's not an insult. It's like you're all over the place and you're covering all the bases and you're bringing music like style and influence to people like I've never heard that before, and I know they've never heard it before. Because we spoke before, and I've been in the music business for a long time, and I'm like, I know when something's different. I know when something's different.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and it's like it's a trip. It's a real voyage into the world,
yes.
And it shows all the different influences that I've had over the years.
So when you're writing music, is there do you have to be like in a certain mood? Do you have to be at a certain place? I've spoken to musicians before. They're like, hey, I got to be at a coffee shop in order to write music, or I have to be in the park, or I have to be out on the water, or whatever. Where do you have to be to put this together? It must be a really cool place because the music is great.
Well, that's a really good question, actually. You know what? Basically, I have to be in the right place in terms of my mind. If I put up a record, I'm good for a long time, and then inspiration starts coming back to me, and then all of a sudden it's a seriously creative process in the sense that it goes in steps, right?
Yes.
Like it's a real building process in terms of writing the music, because it develops as we go. And I one thing about me is I do have a little bit of like perfectionist type of syndrome. I can't let go anything out unless it's completely to my satisfaction. In fact, I drive people crazy when they have to lay things down, especially musicians. I got to make sure that every note is right on, man. Everything.
Okay, so I got to throw this in there really quick. What month were you born? Are you a Virgo?
No, I'm actually, I was born in July.
July, okay. Because I'm a Virgo, and I'm the same way as you. It's got to be like, it's got to be laid out,
Yeah, especially with music. And the reason why I feel that is because, it's our legacy, musicians. It's our legacy. So we got to make sure that what we lay down is the best that it can possibly be, because it will probably outlive us. And
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so I really take a lot of time to make sure that everything is done correctly. And also the production is slightly different than most records out there, and I think the uniqueness is very important, that the musicians out there, work on themselves and not compare themselves to other musicians, to be their own person and put out what's in their heart,
the way this is laid out, and okay, so I'm baking the other day and I'm listening to you, and by the way, the baking came out good because I had good music in my head, that it's motivational. And the thing I was thinking, I was saying, man, and you brought up a good point right there. People go through music so quick today. They listen, they go, they listen, they go. But it's like something that you could reach back on. I was like, he is creating like this legacy to be reached back on. And it's like you have this to the point where if they don't catch you now, they're going to catch you later, because you have this thing with the music. It's like staying power. Yes. And this is something that can always be around. And I'm listening, I'm going, okay, if we had to get together, I could play this in the background. If I'm driving in the car, I could play this while I'm driving. If I'm just lounging around the house, I can play this. And it's like, yo, put him on your playlist, man, because this is like all, like you said, it's like world type, and it's all around, and it's overall like, very pleasant to listen to. You got that rhythm, you got that beat, and you've got those influences. You've got something going on. You've definitely got something going on there. So, hey man, Bandcamp, I went on there and I'm checking it out, and there's this quote there from Bandcamp, and I saw it and I was like, I got to tell my people about this. This is really good. It says Michael Massaro has a unique writing style of original works. The title of his latest work, Love Emotion. Love is ultimately the driving force in all that is good. And says Michael's music will touch and inspire the soul and the spirit of listener, regardless of their age and background. And that is the key thing. When I saw that word age, we're trying so hard to get the younger generation to listen to this great jazz music, and I'm a demographic type guy, stats and all, and I'm going, he's doing it because I have my daughter in the house and I'm playing it, and if she doesn't like anything, she'll be like, get rid of it, change it. And she's hanging out with the music. And I was like, oh, yeah, kids are very honest and upfront. And I was like, he's got something there.
Well, I approach the music from a very spiritual point of view. When I write for people. I write for people to listen to the music, to enjoy. That is my ultimate goal. I basically transcend the music. You know what? It's like a gift to me. And for me, that it's a gift to people out there, man, because
yes.
The power of music is incredible, and it can change people's lives. It can also influence them in a positive way, and that's the way that I approach what I write. So the intent behind the music is very important to me, and that's something that I got from John Coltrane, actually, because listening to John Coltrane, right, he was a very spiritual individual, and beside being a genius, right? But what I got from him was the is sound and the spiritual influence, and I wanted to incorporate that in my music. So I'm not saying that I'm nowhere near that, but the intent is what it is. So that's why I think my music also is differentiated by other artists.
Well, you're doing it, you're making it happen. You've got me as a fan, and I'm telling everybody right now on the other side of the screen, definitely check out Michael Massaro. When you sent me, we asked you to send us some radio drops, and you did. And I'm listening to the radio drops, and I'm like, okay, he's in Toronto. And then I'm listening again, and I'm like, he is in Toronto. I said, that is not a French Canadian accent. So where are you originally from?
Well, I'm originally from Italy. I was born in Italy in a small town just south of Naples, and it's a beautiful, quaint little town. Amazing. I had my infancy, or with my early years, were magical for me, and right. I think that had an influence into my music. Eventually, I can sort of see where it happened. And as you know, Italy is beautiful. I know you've been there, so you understand. Yes.
Ringing the bell for that one. Definitely. It is a beautiful country. I could say that much. Say, hey, you're in Toronto, right? And how is the music scene in Toronto? Is there like a lot of competition, or are people like, get out of my way, this is my territory type stuff? It's kind of like that here in the U.S., depending on where you go.
The music scene in Toronto is actually very vibrant, and we have a lot of musicians in the city. So there's a lot of places to play in terms of clubs. And it's good competition. It's nurturing competition. You know what I mean?
Healthy competition. I get it.
Yeah. But we all get along, and we all respect each other, and that's really important. So it creates a nice community, a musical community. Yeah, and there's a lot of talent in Toronto, just like in the States. And so we're very lucky. I'm very lucky to be in this city.
Yes, and then we've had, like I mentioned before, Len Mazzoni, Cat Levon, and Steve Oliver. He's from Canada, true?
Right.
I guess. Yeah, I'm chasing him down, and I'm also chasing. I think you probably. I don't know if you know her or if you met her. I think you know her from online. JC Soul.
JC Soul, actually, yes. Well,
yes.
JC is. She's an excellent singer, and she's just put out a couple of singles. Yep. Our Groove, and I actually played on her second single that's taking off.
Oh,
right. Yeah, it's called The Best of You, and it's actually getting a lot of airplay right now. I'm playing in the horn section. There's a 3-piece horn, and also I'm playing an outro, like a tenor solo on the outro, and she's getting a lot of airplay. She's a wonderful singer and a wonderful person, actually. Yeah.
Well, you know what? We've been chasing her down for a minute to come on the show. And so now I got a connection to actually say, hey, go on the show. Let's get it over with. She keeps on. It's like she's running from me. And I'm like, no. Come on. Let's go. You're putting out music. Let's give you exposure. Let's get you out there. Hopefully she'll agree. We'll hit her up again. I think there was something happening with her voice at the time. And now I think she's better, because that's a couple of months ago. Maybe you could put in a good word for me. Hey, get out there.
Absolutely.
I think she's scared of me.
I think she did have a problem with her voice, from what I remember, but she's back. She's back on her game right now, so she'll be on for sure. I'm looking forward to that interview, actually.
Yeah, me too. I want it to happen, so I'm like, come on, girl, let's go. Let's get this done. Hey, Michael, I wish you the best of luck in all your musical endeavors. I'm looking forward in the future to some great music from you. I mean, you're off to a great start, and we'll keep connected. Bandcamp, people out there, it's on the screen right now. Go to Bandcamp, check his music out, and look, man, you could come back anytime. You and we could talk forever. I noticed that. I love it. So we could talk forever, which is really, really great, man. Hey, for more about Michael Massaro, like I said, go to Bandcamp, jazzmix95.com. Check out our website. We're going to have some stuff up there about him also. And I want everybody to show this man a lot of love, because his musical style and influence is just beyond compare. It's a beautiful one. If you're a jazz music fan, a world music fan, even an R&B fan, definitely check out his music. You'll come back and hang out with us, right?
Absolutely, Marquis. I want to thank you for having me on, and I want to send a big salute and hello to all of Kansas City. Jazz
Thank you.
5. I love you guys. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, man. That does more for me than my daughter. Like, what does she do? No, let me stop. Hey, guys, we will see you until next time. Keep spreading the love. God bless you all, and we'll see you next time on Can I Get a Minute? We're out.